Welcome to Gotta Run with Will. I'm your host, Stephen Andrews, and on today's show, I have two members of the 2019 Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge team. Joining us today from Manhattan, we have Sean Peters, and from Queens, the Foot Locker 2019 champion, Jimmy Fernandez. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, this is a question for both of you. What got you into running, and why did you apply to run the Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge?
So I started running as a way to warm up before working out, really. Some years ago, I've been working out at the gym, lifting weights, and I always ran on the treadmill. And then one day I decided just to try running outside. And it was a huge difference compared to a treadmill run. And I kind of got hooked on it then. Since then, running has become a bigger part of my life. I just run for fun, run to relax. I've never been big on races. I've always just gone out to run because I enjoy the experience.
So why did you apply for the Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge?
A friend of mine told me about it, and it seemed like a cool way to experience a marathon. I wanted to share part of my story as well. So, and I love Manhattan, so why not apply? So.
What is your story?
And I'm very proud to represent Manhattan in the Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge. One of my favorite running experiences was running with one of my best friends, Allison, when she did an ultra for her birthday. She ran 30-something miles around Manhattan, and I was able to join her for her last 15 miles or so. Two of the bigger challenges in my life that come to mind right now are one, finishing and enduring a PhD. It was challenging not just because of the academics, but also just pursuing through some personal things as well. I was working 2 jobs at the same time while going to school, and then also one of my best friends was murdered during that process. So for me, running I was able to look to running as a way to kind of push through. And my friend who I lost, he was my running partner at that time. So I remember having many runs where I would just cry because he wasn't there anymore. So that whole last 5 years of my life, running has been there as a way to cope. But not just cope, but kind of overcome what I was going through. And I can look back now and say, yes, I survived this. Yes, I was successful. Yes, I can share my story with someone else who is going through something difficult and point them in a place where they too can look to running to overcome something as well.
And this was your first marathon ever.
This was my first marathon. Yeah, it was.
A surreal experience?
I really didn't know what to expect. And, it was amazing. It was amazing. There was a lot of fear and anxiety leading up to it.
Yeah.
Running with these guys was amazing. Having them there at the starting line with me, weeks leading up to it was very helpful.
Yeah.
And once you start running, you just take it all in, So, yeah.
Jimmy, congratulations. You are the reigning Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge champion. What got you into running? Why did you apply?
And I would say probably for about 2 decades I had suffered from a condition called fibromyalgia. And at my worst, I was unable to walk and I had such severe pain. And that lasted for many, many years. And in my desire to change my lifestyle to see if something would improve, I was looking for a sport that provided me a training plan and gave me an outlet to go out and try things. It started initially with yoga, and yoga allowed me to become flexible enough to be able to even attempt to run. And once I started running, I just felt like my body was changing. As I progressed in the number of miles that I ran, I just felt a lot better, and physically better. And it just gave me so much energy that I had never had in my life. At the encouragement of my friend was like, "You should really run a marathon." And she had a lot of hope for me. And first one I did, I was just completely hooked. Did my first marathon 2017.
Awesome.
I've done 6 marathons now. And then I just completed my 100-mile ultra marathon 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's...
It's just the whole mindset my physical body has gone through a tremendous transformation.
Yeah.
And it started with marathon running. I also do some triathlon running. So it's all went hand in hand.
And some Ironmans.
And some Ironmans, yes. Just did my first full Ironman about a month and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank
So
you.
take me to race day. You get to Staten Island and you're getting ready to run this race and butterflies in your stomach as you stand on the Verrazano Bridge.
First New York City Marathon, everyone has been telling me that it's kind of downhill from there in terms of the experience, the energy that New York City provides. But so I woke up that morning, I had my whole routine planned out the night before, everything laid out. I had my peanut butter sandwich that I was gonna get have on the bus because I didn't know what to expect, at the marathon village. But as the bus was pulling into, Staten Island, I remember feeling just in awe at it's happening. Okay, these are other runners waiting. I'm about to do something that I don't know what will happen with my body. But I was just in awe, not so much nervous anymore, but just wow, this is
What you're about to do.
Yeah, this is about to happen. And I think having a team with you makes it even more memorable and more manageable emotionally, if that makes sense. You're here with other people who are just as excited, have questions about what's going to happen in the next 3-5 hours. It made it very enjoyable and memorable for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you. It was your 6th, 7th marathon. So.
No, for me, it was really, really different. I had quite a bit of jitters just a few weeks before I had completed Ironman, and because of my condition, I knew I needed some recovery times. In the few weeks leading to between Ironman and the marathon, I did not do much running because I was recovering.
Yeah.
The most I ran was maybe 6 miles, and we're talking about 4 weeks of not doing just recovery and some movements, recovery movements. And I had not run the big mileage that everyone around me was running, 13 miles. I was like, nope, not for me. So heading to the marathon, this is the reason why I had these jitters. That and combined with this, you're running with other people and you don't know what their paces are going to be like. I mean, I remember us being in Brooklyn and engaging, where's this person, how is this going to work out?
Yeah, that was interesting. This whole running together and figuring out, okay, how do we do this? And you kind of winging it almost and trying to keep up, but also trying to stay focused and try to keep your training in mind.
You guys had your own start. You were the only 5 on the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah.
And so you're never going to have that again. So it was a very surreal experience.
It's a very surreal moment that we had on the bridge, being by ourselves. I remember all of us just whipped out our phones and we're videoing because it was surreal to be there, just the 5 of us on the bridge.
Just nobody else, just running there. And I remember thinking okay, I'm never going to have this again.
Right.
I'm never going to have this experience again.
Right.
And I really tried to take it in,
Yeah.
Because that bridge is usually cars, and if there are runners on it, is during the marathon. So, when else am I going to be able to just record, take in the scenery? We're running step by step together. Mind-blowing experience.
Sean, you've been spoiled.
Foot Locker 5 Borough Challenge has been great. It's been VIP treatment beginning to end.
Yes.
And it allowed me to really take in also logistically what goes into being prepared for a marathon. but I'm also looking forward to doing it again in like the thick of it.
Okay.
You know, and you know, getting energy from like even more runners around me. I think that may be amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also think may help with my pace a bit more. So during the marathon, for me, once the elite started passing me,
Yeah.
my sense of pace went out the window. I didn't. I no longer knew how fast I was running because they're running
Right.
so
They're so running
much
so fast,
faster than
yes.
you.
And that was an experience to see
And you
them
think-
fly by you, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was inspiring to see them pass by so fast.
Yeah.
And you kind of lose sense of what your own pace is because you start picking up your pace.
Yeah.
You see them running and you go, I can't run that pace for a 5K. And
Right.
you're running it for a marathon.
Right. And they make it look so easy. You know, they're just like, you know, their form is just impeccable and they're just zooming by you. But I remember feeling like, oh, you know, they're running fast.
Yeah.
And I felt like I'm running slowly. But then I'll check my pace, like, whoa, this is, I'm speeding up. I have to like slow down. And like,
Yeah.
I think for me being like a noob to the whole marathon experience,
Yeah.
that's where like my inexperience kind of like got the best of me. I didn't know how to pace myself amongst.
Okay.
It's-
The elite women start a half hour after you, and the elite men with wave one start like an hour after you. So at some point, some of the other wave one runners, not just the elite runners, also run past you. The people that
Yeah.
are going to beat you.
Right.
And I remember the year before when I ran it, I tried to keep up with them because I wasn't thinking, you know, hey, these people are actually running faster than I am, and so you have to like keep that in check.
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
running.
When we were running together for Summer Brooklyn, I think at some point we got separated. And Martin was in front of me
Okay.
for most of the times. So Martin was leading, and I was like literally on the heel of his foot for like the last 15 miles.
Really?
So, and he's a faster runner than I am. Whatever paces, and I had all my paces written on my arm. Whatever I had written on my arm was out the window.
It's gone.
I was like, I just want to
Keep
survive
up with
being on
Marco.
the heel of this foot. So it became a different game strategy that I never realized it was going to be like that. I'm sure I'll never experience anything like that. Because it literally was. I mean, as much as friendly as we were, it was a contest.
It's
right?
yeah, it's a race.
Yes.
It was a race.
Yeah.
Borough bragging rights.
Yeah.
And I pushed. My paces were a lot faster than my half marathons for this marathon. I didn't realize that I had it in me until I finished. But we were running really fast,
Yeah.
much beyond I thought my capabilities.
Yeah.
We were approaching paces at 8-minute pace, sometimes 7:30, and then it would slow down to like 9 or 10, depending on how tired we were.
You need that sometimes.
You
to,
need
like,
that sometimes.
to have someone just like.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for that experience. It provided me a pacer unofficially.
Yeah. Now you know what you're capable of.
You're
Right.
not running a 10-minute pace when you finish. It was a photo finish.
Shoulder to shoulder, sprinting to the finish line. And it looks like we got Jimmy coming through. That's Jimmy Fernandez of Queens.
I mean, it was a sprint for the win.
Yeah.
We entered the park together, and then we knew that we were going to be sprinting.
Gotcha.
We knew because we had talked about it. I was like, all right, we're gonna do this together, and we were shoulder to shoulder for the latter half, and we egged each other on. We pushed each other along, and I'll tell you that we both hit like lows,
Yeah.
very lows that were very low.
Okay.
And I'd be like, come on, Martin, you can do this. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
He did the same for me. So it was an amazing experience.
I like to think of it as just because you're part of this team that's in a race against each other, you're still friends.
Yeah.
You plan on doing some races together in the future, maybe?
Yeah.
You talked about it. Racing is new for me, so these guys, they
Baby steps.
Yeah, they do this like in their sleep. I am signed up for the half, the New York City
awesome.
half.
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of y'all are
I didn't get into the lottery.
No.
But I can support you. I'll be out there
Maybe
cheering
a
for you.
4-borough challenge for that one.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Foot Locker 5-borough challenge, the first half you guys run together, and then after that is when the actual race starts.
So they say.
When you were both in your home boroughs is during the actual race. How did that feel when you were running through Queens? How did that feel when you were running through Manhattan and they see it on your singlet?
Well, by the time I got to my borough, they were gone. So that's like mile 15 or so, and they had already like separated themselves and me, they had widened the gap. But coming into Manhattan is an amazing experience. Even if I didn't have the Manhattan shirt on, I think that energy coming into Manhattan off that Queensboro Bridge.
It was your first New York City Marathon, so it was your first time experiencing the wall of sound.
The wall of sound coming out of the tunnel of silence. So that was overwhelming in a good way, and it's exciting. It's really exciting. Like I have so many positive feelings associated with the overall marathon experience. Yeah.
Well, hopefully be back to do others in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, Brooklyn was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How was Queens?
Queen was amazing.
At that point, you're racing. You're
At
heading
that point,
towards the
we were
Queensboro
racing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Bridge.
and that's
Class
probably
A.
one of the. I didn't want it to go so fast. It's
Yeah.
only. It's not Queens. It's not that long.
Right.
Right. So we were actually picked up quite a bit of pace, and I think it's because I just got so much energy from the crowd.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me go faster, and
You're like
just not a good thing.
pumping,
Yeah.
people's
I was
hands.
just having so much fun. I was just like slapping all the hands I can,
Yeah.
hollering, yelling, and just doing fist pumps in the air lots of times.
Yeah.
And it was just so much fun. And I was fortunate that I had my name on my shirt.
So they were calling out your
So they were
name.
calling out my name quite a lot.
Yes.
As they should.
And I couldn't tell whether it's because they knew me, some of them knew me,
right.
or whether they knew that I was the 5-borough representative, or whether I was just an elite, because some people think that you're the person winning the race. So, but you know what? I take it all.
Take it all in. Take it all in and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I remember getting to like mile 23, 22, and thinking, I spent too much energy high-fiving people. Because by then, like now everything's
It's your first time it's gonna happen.
starting to fall apart. I'm like, those high fives in Brooklyn really are really killing me now. I shook a baby's hand, I pet the dog, I gave people hugs. I didn't take any beers. People.
Because they say beers, carbs, but to each their own.
No.
And for each of you, which would you say is the best part of the course for you that day?
I did run out of steam and energy, and I at Central Park South, my legs just froze. I had severe cramps.
Yeah.
This was as soon as we walked out of the park to go run down to 59th Street. I think it's 59th Street.
Yeah.
Central Park South, and I had severe cramps and I couldn't move. And I saw like my competition.
Here comes Martin.
Running away. And I was like, oh wow, what am I gonna do? And then for some reason, there's something that clicks in your mind and all of a sudden like it unlocks your body. And I was like, oh no, I worked too hard for this. And I sprinted down Central Park South like it was like a short sprint, but I had still quite a bit to go.
The adrenaline's kicking in.
And it was adrenaline. And I met up with him as we were entered the park together. So imagine that. He was half a block away. I sprinted, caught up with him just to enter the park together.
And passed them.
Yeah, and then I passed him, yes. But yeah, sometimes you just muster that energy and it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And what about you, Sean?
In terms of like physical challenge and overcoming, I guess, on the from 110 to 96th Street, that there's an incline along Central Park on Fifth Ave, And during my training, my friend who ran with me a lot, he kept telling me, when you get to this point, your legs are going to be shot.
Mile 23.
But you have to keep moving forward. And like, as I got to 110th Street, that's exactly what happened. Like, all the training kicked in. It's like, okay, don't stop, just slow down, and then, you know, you're gonna eventually get to 96.
Yeah.
It felt like the longest part of the marathon for me, really, like going from 110, that 1 mile, 110 to 96th Street felt like forever, but I was so happy once I got to 96th Street, because I knew, okay, from now it's kind of downhill,
Yes.
and, you know, the end is we're getting close. It's like mile 24 at that point.
Once you get into Central Park.
Yeah, and that felt like a victory by itself for me, just getting just getting to 96th Street.
I agree.
Like, yes, oh, we're not done. Okay.
No, we're not.
Gotta keep,
It's not 24 miles.
gotta keep moving, exactly. And also, so my sister, my niece, and 3 of my friends, I saw them 3 times along the route.
Yeah.
So they showed up for me at mile 8 in Brooklyn, mile 18 in Manhattan, at mile 22. And they were supposed to be at the end, but I couldn't get to them at the end.
Okay.
But seeing them along the route,
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure if I was going to see them. Like, I saw them from mile 8, like, okay, cool, you all did it. Then to see them at mile 18, like, okay, they're getting this done. And then at mile 22, I started crying. I just couldn't control myself anymore. Just to see, like, my niece was there with a little flag, and my sister was there, and it was just so emotional. But it gave me a little extra, like, push each time I saw them. Okay, these people are out here for me. Let me do my part and run a marathon.
Your experience sounds so different than mine.
Yeah?
I had tunnel vision, and I had people who talked to me after the race. They're like, I could not even get you to pay attention to me.
Really?
Like, you were just so focused. Well, because I was following the
happens.
feet.
Oh, you thought?
It happens.
And all I could think about was, keep up with the feet, keep up with the feet.
Keep up with the feet.
People were calling your name in Manhattan, and you didn't even hear them because you were just so focused.
And several people said that about me. I was like, you had like so much focus. I was like, yeah, because if I didn't keep that focus,
Yeah.
I may just
stop.
May just, you know, slow down and say, okay.
Well, it paid off.
It did pay off. Yes.
Stopping felt so scary, really. Like, the idea of stopping was terrifying, honestly.
Yes.
Because, like, if you stopped, like, your legs are gonna not want to keep moving.
Up,
And and seeing other people like stop and then sit down, like, oh my goodness. It scared me a bit, but it was motivation to just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, as painful as it felt, as tired as I felt, it's not as bad as stopping and not finishing. Slow down if you have to.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
But don't stop.
Yeah.
Part of the marathon is psychological, and so there are times you may be out there and you're having like, I'm feeling great, I'm running really fast, and then you see people starting to walk, and you're like, is this going to happen to me? Don't even think about it.
Yes.
Just focus on what you're out there to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why I had tunnel visions, because I felt like people around me may impact my thought process. Yeah, I think that's why I had like this tunnel vision, like, you know, and this focus, because you know, you can be impacted by what you see around you.
Yeah. And even like for me thinking about everyone that I saw at any run I saw during the race, I knew was faster than me. Because like everyone would have to catch up with me.
Yeah.
So I knew that anyone I'm running with, they're faster than me.
Okay.
And so when you get to like, you know, mile 20 and you're seeing these people walking, you're like, do it. Like, geez, and it's just like it messes with your mind. It does mess with your mind, and you just don't know what to expect from your body. You have to trust your training. Trust that you have the mental fortitude and to push forward. But that big unknown is you just don't know what happens after mile 22.
That's an unknown.
Yeah.
Part of it is training, but part of it is also nutrition.
Yeah.
Tell us about My Body, My Kitchen.
So My Body, My Kitchen is, I have a blog where I empower readers to take control of their health by taking control of their kitchens. And I do that by providing them with innovative ways to prepare everyday meals. So during grad school, I started the blog, and The nutrition part of training was very interesting to me, just so that, because I deal with food all the time, and knowing, just trying to investigate what do I actually need to eat during my runs, before my run, during training, so that my body is prepared to, run optimally.
Okay.
And I just did a lot of research around it, but I think nutrition plays a very big role in fitness in general. What I've noticed, some runners don't pay attention to it as much as they should.
Yes.
And which is unfortunate. But My Body My Kitchen is a great community of people that I interact with, and they find my recipes interesting and helpful. And I provide nutrition facts and nutrition information and some guidance around food.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, you've been featured in Runner's World.
Yes.
Want to tell us about that?
They wanted to talk to me about fibromyalgia and running, basically, and how I went from, difficulty with walking to now just being really active and an athlete. It's been quite a transformative experience for me to do all of this, and the reason why I'm so active is just because I just feel like I'm gaining all that time that I've lost in the past, and trying to make up for lost time. And I'm just having so much fun being so active in various communities. I have the running community, I have the triathlon community, and those two communities really provide support that I needed to get started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If each of you guys had one bit of advice to give to the non-running community about running, what would it be?
Try it. Try running and do it with a community of people who will support you. It's a life-changing experience, and you won't know until you actually try it.
I would say that running is the easiest activity that you can do. All it requires is a pair of sneakers, and you just open your door and you go. It doesn't get any easier than that.
Yeah.
Sean and Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us today on Gotta Run with Will. Thank you for sharing your experiences for the Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge, and also your experiences outside of that. Health, training, telling us about fibromyalgia, telling us, what you put into your body tells you what comes out of it. So we are very appreciative to have you here today. I would like to thank the Manhattan Neighborhood Network and Will Sanchez for allowing us to be here today. My name is Stephen Andrews. Gotta run.
It was great to have you as a host. From last year. It's amazing.
Stuff, yeah. It was a pleasure to host Gotta Run with Will today with my guests, Sean and Jimmy from the Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge. Thank you to Will Sanchez, and thank you to Foot Locker. Thank you to Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Gotta run.
So I just had a great chat on Gotta Run, and I want to thank Will Sanchez for having me on here. Also want to thank Foot Locker for having me in the Foot Locker 5-Borough Challenge. I want to give a shout out to Harlem Run and to My Body My Kitchen and all my followers. Gotta run.
I want to thank the New York City Marathon and Foot Locker for organizing such a fantastic event. A special thanks to the Empire Triathlon Club for supporting me along the way. I started being active with them, and it's continued, and I've gained so many new friends along the way, especially from the running community. A special thanks to Marina, Michael Ortiz, and CJ Rivera for being inspirations and for supporting me along the way. I've learned so much from a whole bunch of people. So there's a lot of other people that I can't name by name, but you know who you are. Thank you. Gotta run.